I'm going to try making Bǔzhōng Yìqì Tāng into incense. So these are the herbs. I'm just making a small quantity so that I can see if I like it before I make more. And so first I need to grind them into a powder, and then I will try making both the moist incense, honey pill type, and I'll try making the burning type, maybe cones or sticks, depending on how much I have of the powder. Okay, so let's grind it. Not very much quantity. I probably should have made more, but we'll try. Okay, this is going to be loud. Here it's loose. Okay, plug it in this way. And here we go. Okay, I saved you some of the sound of grinding. I ground it a couple of times. It probably won't be totally done, but let's unplug it. There. Open it. Ooh, a lot of smoke coming up. Not smoke, powder. So we'll wait another little minute. Okay. The huang qi always leaves a lot of fiber. You can never really grind huang qi very perfectly. So this part is also boring and will take a while. I have other video that tells you how to grind herbs, so you can watch that if you need to know. Okay, I'll get the rest later, but now I'm making a fine powder. You can see the powder is gathering in the bowl below. So I'm going to pause the video and just continue doing this. Okay, well, I've ground and sifted it a number of times, and with huang qi there's always this leftover fiber that you can never finish grinding, but here's my powder. Let's try to make a cone, just, one for test purposes. So just a teeny bit of the Bǔzhōng Yìqì Tāng. And then we're going to need the mako. And I want more mako than Bǔzhōng Yìqì Tāng. Okay. So we'll mix these two. Add a little bit of water. Okay, let's see how this is. It could be too dry, it might need more, it might be just fine. I just don't like them too wet because then they take forever to dry and they're more sticky. That's gotta be enough now. Yeah. Okay. So now you have to, it's slightly moist, too moist, but you have to work it a little to get the, I know it's not gluten, but just like kneading flour, kneading bread dough, you have to knead it to get it to become sticky and hold together. So I'm just working it a little bit. That should be good. Okay, so now I'm gonna then just make a few little cones. Trying to make them taller and thinner rather than short and fat, because they don't like to burn on the fat part. So, okay. Hopefully it'll smell decent. Of course, medicinal incense is not there to be like the most beautiful smell, but it still should be pleasant. Okay. I guess I made more than I thought I was going to, but I still have enough to make a few honey pellets with the rest of the powder. To remind you, the mako holds it together, and the mako also helps it to burn smoothly and evenly and stay lit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cones. 9's a good number. Okay, honey pills. So I've got the powder, I've got a mortar and pestle, I've got some spoons, I've got some honey. This is processed honey, so it's thicker than usual. I just warmed it to make it a little thinner. I'm going to reserve some of the powder. I think I'll try to make it up in the pestle. So you don't necessarily want to use all of the powder, because if you end up with too much honey, then you want some powder to work back in to make it less sticky. So we'll start with this amount. I can always add the rest of the powder. And some of this honey, you can see it's really thick because it has been around for a while, but also it was processed, which very much thickens it. So first let's get it covered up, and then what we have to do is basically try and mix it, but it's not going to mix easily because it just wants to stay in lumps. So that's why we're going to have to pestle it eventually. You can see they're just basically globs of honey that are coated with powder on the outside. So just stirring is not going to do it. So let's see. So I'm going to pestle a little. You can see it's changing, getting more like a dough, but I still have to work it all in. Okay. Okay, then let's keep working on it. Now you can see something's happening, that it's often sticking together in a, lump, and that instead of being all sticky on the bottom, it's starting to hold together and come apart in a lump. So the texture is changing. Basically, for honey pills or for moist incense pellets like this, you want to pestle for at least 100 pestlings, or pound it or pestle it. And some books will say 1,000. I don't think I've ever gotten up to 1,000, but the texture really does change when you pestle it. So I'm going to start my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And every so often when you're doing that, you want to, scrape it up and just make it a little bit like a ball, and then start pestling again. So I'm not going to count out loud for the whole 100 for you guys. That would be a little boring, but I'm going to keep doing 100. So that was 10. Okay, that's 100. Well, I'm going to sprinkle a little powder here. And let's try to get this. I think it's a little moist. It didn't look moist to begin with, but once you pestle it, it really changes texture. And so I think I'm going to need to work some more powder into it. It's a little too sticky. Okay. Okay, then let's see. Sprinkle a little more on top. Okay. So you could kind of knead it like bread dough if you wanted to. But you want it so that it's really not so sticky. Do you notice it is sticking to me a little, but my hands are not getting all, sticky. They feel sticky, but they don't look sticky. So this is, within the range. Okay, so now we've got moist incense dough with Bǔzhōng Yìqì Tāng. Okay, and so you can make a nice lump of it. And then traditionally, this is going to age for like a month. I don't know if I'll age it for a whole month, but you want the flavors to blend with each other. So I'm going to wrap this in plastic, or I'm going to find a container that's just the right size to put it in, so it won't be drying out in the air. and let it age for a while. But actually, now it's sticky again. It does probably need a little more powder in it. But I'm gonna actually, I'm so impatient. So I'm gonna try one little bit today, and then the rest will let it age, and it should become nicer later. So to make honey pills, well, when I do the whole thing, I'll show you how to do it when you're making a bunch. But you know, you could just take a bit and roll it into a little pellet. You know, this is exactly how you make honey pills for internal use, but now these are called incense pellets. So I'm going to heat up this one and see what I think of its flavor, and I'm going to put this one away. Okay, I found a small glass container. I think some fancy yogurt came in here. So I'm going to age this for maybe not a month because I'm trying to get this video done, but I'm going to let it age for a while before I make the pellets. And now I've got one pellet that I'm going to try. So this is my little electric incense heater. So it has a little, you know, a few of these, and so you can wash them out and use different ones for different incense. You put the lid on, and then it has this thing that, here's the on button, and you can adjust how many hours. Let's just give it 1 hour, and then you can turn the heat up or down. Let's see, it's hard to see where it is, but I don't want it too hot or you'll get a burnt smell. There, now I see it's all the way down. I'll turn it up a little less than half. And there, I can walk away and forget about this, and it will go off on its own in an hour. This type of moist incense, heated moist incense pellets, will take a while before you smell it. There's no smoke, and then just in the local area, it's not going to bother other people around you. Usually, it stays pretty localized, and you're working at your desk and you have this, and it just smells marvelous. Well, I hope this one will smell marvelous. So there are multiple ways to heat it. This is just the most convenient one, but in other videos, I'll show other ways of heating moist incense. It smells really nice. I'm surprised at how good it smells. So this one is a keeper. Some experiments work out, some don't, but this one did. Let's see how the Bǔzhōng Yìqì Tāng incense smells. My judgment, it's better as moist incense than as burnt incense. There's a bit of a burnt smell. It's not unpleasant, but I like the moist incense better for this one. The Bǔzhōng Yìqì Tāng incense, moist incense made with honey, has been sitting for a few days. I wish it could sit longer, but I'm trying to get the video done. So I'm going to now make it into moist pellets. So basically I want to kind of maybe divide it into a few pieces. Okay. So I can take this and start to roll it out a little. It's pretty hard because I use processed honey, so you know it takes some effort, but it's not sticky at all. And so I'm gonna now roll this out into like a snake or a worm. You can see it's elongating. And you hear it clacking with this thing. The depth of the sides of it is how high I want the diameter to be. I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but when I get it rolled out, it won't clack anymore because this will just be moving back and forth against the edges. So it's getting there, and you can see it's nice and smooth and even. Oh, it's taking a while, isn't it? I think we're almost there. There, okay. So here's the second part of the pill making process. After you've rolled out a snake, you can break off pieces one by one and roll them if you want to. So I could just take a little piece like that and make it about the size of a green pea or a small blueberry, a small garbanzo bean. Let's try a small one. There, that worked pretty good. Here's two. And you can see it made perfect little pellets, just the right size for moist incense. There's so many ways of warming moist incense pellets. I haven't been showing you the real traditional ways. I've been using electricity. Here's another one. I got this thing from Bed Bath & Beyond. It's for warming some kind of scented wax pellets. I don't really know, but it works nicely for moist incense. So basically, take off the lid and you put one of your pellets in, or even more than one, and put the lid on and turn it on. And there it is. So it's pretty at night and it warms it, and eventually the aroma will fill the room. So can't smell it yet. It takes a little bit of time before you can smell it, but this is how you use this is how you warm moist incense pellets.